What up, what up, what up, what up, football fans? Welcome to another episode of the Blitz. I'm your host, Big C, brought to you by Game Changers Media. And you all know the co-host, Mike Jones. What up, Mike?
What up, man? How you doing? How you doing? Happy to be here. Episode 42. Unfortunately, episode 41 has been deleted. There were some technical difficulties on my editing behalf, so yeah, I might have hit the wrong button. So sorry to everybody that was watching or wanted to watch. Apologize, I hit the wrong button, and we'll try not to let that happen again. How you doing, brother?
Gone forever. A moment in time that we can never get back.
Yeah, my bad.
Thanks. No, that's he's being kind. It was actually my fault. I'm the one that accidentally deleted it. My editing skills are not on par with his. He was at work. I tried to do a little something, and next thing I know, the thing was gone, and there's no bringing it back. It's gone for good. It's gone forever. It's out of here.
That was a good show too, man.
Yeah, I felt like it was a pretty good show. But we got a bunch of other good shows in us. Hopefully, we can make up for it. Right?
I mean, I'm cool with it. I'm cool with it. You know, stuff happens. We're still early in this thing, so let's just try not to let that happen again.
Yeah. The missing episode. The mysterious case of the missing episode.
Yeah. It'll show up one of these days. It'll be like the Black Files, the deep secret.
The Black Files. Welcome to the Black Files.
The missing episode they didn't want you to see.
So yeah, make sure you like, subscribe, comment, and share. All those likes, comments, subscriptions, they help us grow. And we're trying to build something special here. We're continuing to work on getting better at what we do. We love to hear from you. We love to hear suggestions. We love to just talk football. That's what this show's about, is talking football. And you know, we might not have the answers to everything. We are not experts. We probably should do some kind of disclaimer. Please don't follow our advice completely, or it could lead to brain damage.
It could lead to empty bank accounts.
Yeah.
It's so sad too, because you put together like the greatest bets I've seen. Like you're literally one away every week, and it's just amazing you haven't hit yet. So
I do them 20 leg parlays. If I could just cut it down, but every time my fingers just want to keep hitting buttons, and I'd be like, I hit this one more. If I add this one more, that's an extra $800, and then I get to that one. Well, if I hit this one, that's an extra $1,000, and then next thing you know, I got 22 leg parlays. And what's amazing is that I'll get 21 of them. I just miss out on the one that is so easy to get, and it just doesn't happen.
Yeah,
like something random. Like someone could throw for one touchdown 100 and some games in a row, and because I bet on it,
they
won't do it that one game. That one game.
Well, it's like, I don't think people understand. Like when I say you're literally usually one away, it's usually something simple like 2 yards, or maybe one less reception, or you know, a guy that's got a touchdown every single week, and all of a sudden, oh, they don't get a touchdown. So it's like, when I say that you do those 15, 20 leg parlays and you come up just short, it's not just short. It's usually like hurt your heart and hurt your insides kind of close. And Gino,
we're not talking about $100 here. We're talking $5,000 and up. They're just shitting on me. I've had ones that I've missed by a couple yards, and it was $40,000. They just absolutely ridiculous. Let's get a roll call. Who's all up in the building? Who's in here with us? Let's hear from you. We got the wild card round coming up this weekend, Mikey.
Yes, sir.
We had discussed this a little bit on Monday's show. Obviously, that is nowhere to be found. So, I mean, we're going to have to backtrack a little bit. We had discussed what games we were looking forward to this weekend. I mean, usually the wild card round, you got the the top notch teams, the division winners going up against the wild card teams. Um, so they're usually, I mean, usually the division winners are division winners for a reason, and they're going to be heavily favored in most games against the wild card teams. Uh, I think we had came to the conclusion that we were looking forward to the Green Bay Philly game the most, right? Is that the one that we said that we were looking forward to most?
Yeah, I think that was the one I was most I really am looking forward to that one, but I'm curious to see the Baltimore-Pittsburgh game. I don't know, I lost all faith in Pittsburgh being able to even hang in there. I still think that Baltimore runs away with this by at least 10 points. But the Steelers surprise you, and sometimes their defense gets going, and they can get pretty they do have Baltimore's number to a certain extent. So, anything
They,
can happen there.
they definitely got Lamar's number. That's the one defense Lamar can't seem to figure out completely, and he struggles against Pittsburgh.
Mm-hmm. Sure does. But yeah, I mean, I'm really interested in the Green Bay Philly game. That could go either way. I really think, but I still got Philly coming out on top on this one. So I just can't go.
Jalen Hurts is coming off the concussion. He had just, I think he just recently cleared concussion protocol. Uh, and then Jordan Love's dealing with a hand injury that he suffered last week that they pulled him out the game. I do like Green Bay. Green Bay's that team almost like with a bunch of unknowns. You know what I mean? It's not like they got a bunch of superstars. I mean, they got Josh Jacobs in the backfield, but you'd be hard pressed if you're just a casual football fan to name more than a couple people on the Green Bay Packers.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas on the Eagles side, you can name 4 or 5 just on offense. The Eagles have been hot. They've been on a streak. I mean, they did lose. They did lose one of those games at the end of the season, right? Yeah, I think they did when Jalen Hurts came out. Didn't they lose to you guys?
To us? No. We were their last game. They beat us last week.
I want to say the game before that they lost or something. Yeah, whatever. I mean, they're on a high streak when Jalen Hurts is playing. I just think Vic Fangio's defense, he's got them playing really well in the way that Saquon's playing. I think they're just going to be too much for the Green Bay Packers this weekend. And Philly's got to be one of the heavy favorites. I'd say it's probably say it's Detroit, Minnesota, even though Minnesota had a very poor showing against the Lions this past weekend, and the Eagles as the 3 favorites in the NFC.
Mm-hmm.
Would you agree with that?
You got the Lion. You got the Lions.
I said the Lions, Minnesota, and the Eagles.
Yeah, they're definitely my favorite. I mean, I've been riding Detroit all year. They kind of let me down last week, or not. They didn't let me down last week, but they kept doing what I thought they would do. But I picked Minnesota last week, so I still think Detroit's my pick. But those are definitely the top 3 for me too.
Yeah, and then the NFC or the AFC, you like you said, you got the Ravens in Pittsburgh, and because that's a division game, because they play each other so hard, I mean that game really is a toss up. I mean, it helps that it's in Baltimore, but historically, Lamar Jackson has struggled against the Pittsburgh Steelers. But that Pittsburgh offense has just been, they just can't get it going. We had discussed maybe possibly them setting up some packages for Justin Fields to get him involved, because they did that a little bit during the season. They were very successful. Justin Fields started the season 3-0, 4-0, whatever, before Russ came back. There was question marks whether Russ was even going to take over the starting spot, but Russ has definitely been struggling, and they need to do something to get this offense going before it's too late.
Oh yeah, definitely. I just don't think they're gonna be able to, even if they did throw in some packages. I mean, I think they could be competitive, but at the same time, I mean, man, you got with Henry and with Lamar, it's like you have 2 running backs, and then you got a quarterback that can hit you over the top anytime, and or he can run 45 yards, 60 yards on you. So I just think it's gonna be a little too much, especially with uh how the offense for the Steelers is. They're just unable to put up points. I mean, if if Pickens comes in and he's got glue on his hands and Russ is throwing moon balls, I mean, anything can happen. But I don't think they're going to be able to overcome the Ravens. And you know, I think our repeat MVP Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, I'd have to go with the Ravens in that game too. Like I said, I have confidence in Pittsburgh Steelers defense to be able to slow Lamar down, to be able to slow Derrick Henry down. I just don't have the confidence in the Pittsburgh offense to be able to match the Ravens' offensive output. And I mean, it's sad because that Pittsburgh defense, I mean, it feels like it's going to waste. I mean, TJ Watt is such a phenomenal player, and he really hasn't had the offensive support that you'd like to see to make his career worthwhile. You know what I mean? It's like Dan Marino with the Dolphins back in the day. They didn't have no running game. It was always Dan throwing. The defense wasn't always that great. I feel like a lot of Dan's prime years were wasted, and I feel like they're kind of doing that with TJ Watt in this defense. Another matchup we got this weekend is the Chargers and the Texans. Man, I gotta tell you, I feel like the Texans were a lot of people's preseason Super Bowl pick. I mean, they were so good last year. CJ Stroud was so good in his rookie season, and then they go and they add Stephon Diggs. They go and they add Joe Mixon, and you just felt like this team was destined and primed for a deep playoff push, and they just haven't, for whatever reason. I mean, a lot of it is CJ Stroud hitting like a sophomore slump, I guess you could call it. Mm-hmm. But they've definitely not met expectations this year. To be honest, they're lucky they're in the playoffs. If they were in a tougher division, I don't think Houston would have made the playoffs. But they got lucky. I mean, their division's Indianapolis, by far the easiest division in football in my eyes. You got Indianapolis, Jacksonville, and Tennessee. I mean, none of those teams are really a threat to them. So I don't know. I feel like the Texans are in for a long weekend and a short playoff, a short playoff stint. A long weekend, right, but a short stint.
If that makes sense. Yeah. Then a long ride home.
Yeah. Well, Jim Harbaugh's came in and he's taking these Chargers to the next level. Justin Herbert finally's got a quarterback a coach that is competent. J.K. Dobbins has been great at running back. Ladd McConkey has been a phenomenon at the wide receiver position. Yep. He's just been fantastic. But a white guy running around crazy. It doesn't even look like he looks like he should be the towel boy, not a wide receiver on an NFL football team.
For real.
But he's been fantastic. This defense has been playing great. I think the Chargers put it on them this weekend and they move on, and I guess we'll have to take a look at who they'd play. I'm guessing. Well, it depends. I guess it depends.
I mean, I got a similar feeling for the Chargers too, but you got to keep in mind too, Houston is top 5 in takeaways, and their secondary is picked the second most passes in the league this season, and there's still a chance, which is pretty good for them because, like you said, then you got guys like Johnston, who's coming off a 186-yard game, 13 catches on 14 targets, and like McConkey's had 82 reception year, almost 1,200 yards, 7 touchdowns. So, like, if they can get their defense going and CJ Stroud can actually get the offense going, I mean, it could go a different way, but I'd have to agree. Jim Harbaugh has done amazing things with this team. They seem like they they're hungry, and they're going out and playing for the guy. So I still pick the Chargers.
Then you got the Buffalo Bills and the Denver Broncos. I mean, I think everybody is feels like it's a foregone conclusion that Buffalo is going to win this game. My question is, Buffalo seems to struggle against the. I mean, they beat a Detroit team that was lacking a lot of defensive talent with injuries. I mean, Buffalo beat Kansas City, but Kansas City, like we had talked about numerous times, like Kansas City is a playoff team, and Buffalo has their number during the regular season. I mean, it's well documented. Denver's got a very strong defense, and I don't feel like Buffalo has a whole lot of weapons. If they can somehow contain Josh Allen and stop him from making big play after big play, they can sneak up on Buffalo and perhaps upset the Buffalo Bills. And what a shock that would be. Bo Nix had a great rookie year. He exceeded a lot of people's expectations in my eyes. I don't think anybody thought Bo Nix was going to be the quarterback that he was going to play the way that he played this year. He had a phenomenal week last week, but he was playing against third stringers and practice squatters. So I wouldn't really call that. I'm not going to give him too much credit for that, but I think I still like the Bills. Josh Allen has just been phenomenal this year. I think he's the runner-up for MVP. He might end up winning the award just because people feel bad for him.
What do you think?
Which is ridiculous.
You think we could get the third time in history that we have a dual MVP?
Oh, man.
I mean, because you had Favre and Sanders and Manning and McNair. I mean,
I guess it's possible. I think there's going to be. I think Josh Allen probably ends up winning it, even though I don't think he deserves it over Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson has the better numbers,
right?
But there might be a little bit of voter fatigue towards Lamar Jackson. You know what I mean? It's kind of like the way people feel about the Kansas City Chiefs. Oh, well, they win all the time. You know what I mean? People just don't want to see them win again. Well, Lamar's already got 2. Josh don't got none. So let's just give it to Josh this year. We voted for Lamar last time. He got it last time. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I think there might be some of that.
I mean, it's an MVP award. So, I mean, if you really think about it, I mean, Josh Allen would kind of be the most valuable player. I mean, Baltimore definitely has more weapons on their team. I mean, you got Henry, who he just passed Tiki Barber for most rushing yards in a season, over 30 years old or some nonsense like that. So, I mean, Henry still got it, but who's Josh really got? You know what I mean? So if you really think about it, you kind of got to go Josh Allen's way, even though the stats don't lie. And I would pick Lamar.
Yeah, I mean, I get what you're saying, but in my eyes, I think it should go to. I mean, MVP in my eyes is the best player that year.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, is Josh Allen more valuable to his team than Lamar is to his team? I mean, you can sit there and debate that all day. You know what I mean? You can say, well, the Ravens would win this amount of games without Lamar and Buffalo would win this amount of games without Josh Allen. Yeah, okay. But then you got to take into account schedules, divisions, even weather, things like weather. It's just, I mean, Josh Allen does have some weapons. I mean, they're not as big a named as Lamar's is. Lamar obviously has got Derrick Henry, and Derrick Henry had a phenomenal year this year. But Buffalo does got James Cook, and James Cook has been phenomenal this year. I mean, he might not have the stats that Derrick Henry has, but he's got very respectable stats. I'm not sure if James Cook made the Pro Bowl or not, but he was very deserving of a spot on the Pro Bowl. You got Amari Cooper over there, which he hasn't really done much. You got Shakir. He's a very talented wide receiver. They got two very good tight ends. So I mean, Josh Allen does have weapons. If you take Josh Allen off the Buffalo Bills, do they win less games than the Ravens do without Lamar Jackson? I mean, yeah, maybe. But I just feel like Lamar's got the better stats. So
Yeah, I'm still on that train.
That's my opinion. You know what I mean? Like, I can't say that I'll be like, oh, it's a robbery if Josh Allen wins. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
But do I think he's more deserving than Lamar? No, I just don't.
Right. Yeah, I just wanted to throw that little curveball out to you. Because we keep saying that it's going to go to one or the other, but I mean, there's always a possibility. I mean, if any time there was a year, I mean, I think it'd be a good year this year. I mean, just because a lot of people probably are on the fence on who to choose. I mean, I still would go Lamar. I mean, like you said, stats and just everything don't lie. So, but it would be all right. I'd be all right with that. I'd be all right saying, "Oh, Josh Allen got an MVP, but he had to share it." That's
well,
cool.
we know what would really make you happy is if they shocked the world and gave it to Saquon.
You're damn right. You're damn right. I would.
You know,
yeah.
I mean that's not gonna happen.
It'd be like that.
I mean, Saquon did it to himself though.
Yeah, he did.
I mean, it was still going to be a long shot for Saquon to win the MVP award. Don't get me wrong, but Saquon could have definitely upped his chances by playing last weekend, and he decided to. I mean, the coaches will take the blame or this and that, but there's no way they didn't offer him the opportunity to go out there and break that record. No way. And if they didn't give him that opportunity, I'd be questioning my relationship with the Philadelphia Eagles moving forward if I was Saquon Barkley.
Yeah, but it don't look like that. It looks like he's just that kind of guy, and it's crazy, man. It'd be so hard for me to give up that opportunity to make NFL history like that.
It's once in a lifetime. You get the put your name in the record books for. I mean, maybe not forever, because I mean, someone's going to come along someday and probably break that record. But at some point, I mean, it could be 30 years from now. You know what I mean? It could be never. It could be never. Who knows? But I want to pull this up real quick just to see these playoff matchups again real quick. Oh, shoot. It's a backdrop, so let me see. Oh, no.
What the
no. Oh, no. Oh. There you go. Beautiful. Oh, yeah. We got Minnesota and the Rams. Who do you like in that one?
Minnesota and the Rams.
Minnesota the Rams are at home, but there's the wildfires going on, so that game might get moved. Talking about moving it to Arizona, I believe.
I think I had an issue with that one. I didn't know which way to go. Like, I like Minnesota. Like, I want to go Minnesota, but man, they laid an egg last week, and now I kind of don't trust. You got me on that
Sam Darnold.
That Sam Darnold trip, like questioning what's gonna be popping. So, I'm gonna go crazy. Like, I'm gonna go again. See, I'm gonna go against what I said. I'm gonna say the Rams take this. The Rams are gonna steal this.
You think the Rams are gonna take it?
Yeah, I think so. I always expect at least a close or an upset in the wild card round, and I think the Rams could do that. I really do.
Man, that's a hot take there, Mike Jones. That's a hot take. I don't know if I have the confidence in the Rams like that. I mean, they got Matt Stafford. He's obviously a Super Bowl champion. They got two very reliable, capable wide receivers, a great running back. Can the Rams defense slow down Minnesota's offense? I mean, we watched the Detroit Lions with a plethora of injuries slow them down last week and keep them out the end zone. I mean, I think you might be onto something. Yeah, I mean, I think the Rams are very capable of stealing this victory from them. And I wasn't thinking about this until you just brought it up, though, bro. Like,
It's tough, right? Because
yeah, because
because I
you would
wouldn't
think that Minnesota would run over them, but
I would have never said that until I watched what Detroit's D did to them last week, and it just you got me. You finally got me on that Darnold train. I just don't know. All they got to do is get pressure on him and bring the heat, and it's and he couldn't connect on red zone. Like I said, he had 3 red zone trips in the first half and only came away with 6 points. That's I don't know. You lose a little confidence. So, yeah, this is my one upset I'm okay making. I'll probably be pretty safe on my other picks, but yeah, I'm going Rams. I got a feeling.
man,
I
I
do.
get, I don't know, which way to go on that, bro. Like, it's serious. Like, Minnesota's got a great defense, but they couldn't slow down. They couldn't slow down the Lions last week. The Lions don't have a regular offense, so I'd say that Lions probably got a top 2 or 3 offense in all of football.
Right.
Man, that's a tough one, bro.
You want to come back to it?
I think I'm gonna have to go with the Rams too. I think the Rams are gonna steal it. I really do.
Okay.
Like I said, I didn't have that thought in my mind at all. Minnesota's been one of the best teams in the league this year. Sean McVay is such a great offensive minded coach. Oh, man, that's a tough one. That's tough.
Still thinking about it.
Yeah. We got Tampa Bay and Washington still. Washington getting in as a wild card. Tampa Bay winning their division on the last week of the year. Baker Mayfield's been phenomenal this year. Mike Evans, his regular self, 1,000 yards. Bucky Irving's came out of nowhere, been such a huge success in the running game for the Bucks.
Mm-hmm.
Bucks defense has been pretty good. And then you got Washington, who Jaden Daniels, rookie of the year, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
He's been great. Washington surprised a lot of people this year, in my opinion. I don't think anybody's seen Washington making the playoffs, and they just rallied behind Jane Daniels, and they've been phenomenal. I think I like Tampa in this one, though. I think the experience of the Bucks just overwhelms Washington, and I think that when Baker gets it going, he really does get it going. He's like a little ball of fire, and he reminds me a lot. His playing style reminds me a lot of Brett Favre, just that gunslinger.
Yeah,
and man, when he gets it going, he can rip it. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go with the Bucks. If the Bucks can get a running game going, you get the ball to Mike Evans. I think they win this game.
See, now you got me thinking because I forgot about this one. Yeah, I mean, Jaden Daniels came out hot. That team was just winning. They hit a little bit of a slump, but they seem to have recovered and they're coming back. So they're playing good football. And man, but I've been on Baker's team almost all season. Like when we first started the show, you were on Tampa, and then they got all the injuries. But man, I was a Baker fan ever since all that. So I don't want to go away from him, but I have this weird Washington feeling. So, but I'm not going to do. I already did my weird feeling one on the Rams, so I'm going to go Bucks on this one too. I like you said, I just like his personality. He's done a good job this year, just making sure they had an opportunity at the end, even though they couldn't finish quite a few games at the end. He's had them there, so I think the experience and Baker's mentality just gives them that little bit of an edge. I got the Bucks on that one too.
Who do you guys all got in the chat? Who do you like this weekend? Who's your picks? Any upsets you guys see? Let's hear from the chat. Come on. Interact with us. We want to hear from you.
Ooh, nice. You hit that high. I want to cry note.
I do want to cry. I do want to cry for you.
Oh, man.
Yeah, that Rams game's really got me thinking, bro. Like, really got me thinking.
You got me thinking about Washington and Tampa now because I forgot about that game. I don't know how I did, but I think that could be I could think that game could be really close at the end. So, ugh. But I'm gonna go with Baker. Don't let me down, Mr. Mayfield. Don't do it.
So besides besides the playoffs, we got a lot of coaching positions and GM positions open, and these coach teams are not waiting. They're getting it going. And you got the coaching searches. We got the Jets, the Pats, the Bears, the Saints, the Jags, and the Raiders. Out of those that are available, which one is the most attractive in your eyes, Mike?
Coaches?
If you were a coach, which one of those jobs are the most attractive to you?
I don't like the Jags. I don't know. I don't really like. I'd probably say either the Pats or the Bears. To be honest, I wouldn't pick Jets just because I wouldn't go into that nonsense. But I think either the Patriots or the Bears. I think they got decent building blocks for a coach to come in, and especially the Pats, they'll have a number 4 pick, so they'll have that to work with. The Bears, they're close. They're close, but they need a better leader. A lot of the games when why is his name escaping me?
Caleb Williams.
Caleb Williams, thank you. A lot of those games could have been victories. There was a few games. It's just bad game management, bad play calls. You know, how do you let all that time run off the clock?
Yeah, that's the coaching more than anything.
Well, that's what I'm saying. They're so close that if they get a decent coach in there, who knows what's, you know what I mean? Yeah. That wouldn't be an issue. And that's what I'm saying is if you get somebody good in there, I think you have a better opportunity to even make a playoff push next year. So, I think the Bears will look good to me, or the Pats. The other ones, I'm not really a big fan on it if it was me personally, but that's the two I'd probably go for.
Yeah, I mean the big difference between those two teams and the other teams is that they got their franchise quarterbacks.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you would hope. Drake May looked great this year, and Caleb Williams. I mean, he didn't meet a lot of people's expectations, but I mean, I think that the expectations people put on these rookie quarterbacks is unfair anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, he didn't play like Jaden Daniels did. Yeah, he didn't play like Bo Nix did. But does that mean that he's not going to be as good as them or even better? No, it don't mean that. It means he was put into a position that wasn't. I mean, maybe it wasn't the right fit. Maybe the coaching wasn't the right. I mean, we've seen how bad the Bears coaching was this year. How many mistakes the coach made. How many games the coach cost them. So did Caleb Williams play a part in that? Absolutely. He definitely underperformed. But I think the kid's still he has the opportunity and the talent to be great. Mm-hmm. And like I said, Drake May, he was great this year and limited action. I mean, I call him, he's like a mix between Justin Herbert and Josh Allen type of player.
Right.
And that's pretty high. That's pretty high comparisons. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But I think that kid's got that type of talent. Obviously the Pats messed things up by, they could have had the first pick in the draft.
Yeah.
I don't know what they were thinking beating the Buffalo Bills the final week of the season. That still blows my mind. Just like your New York Football Giants. But
yeah, we did it a week earlier, so it's not as bad. No, it's still terrible. I'm still irritated about that.
But I think the Patriots, they got a bunch of cap room. They go and get themselves some weapons for Drake May. I think this Pats team can have a 1 year turnaround where they're competing for a playoff spot next year. The Bears got a bunch of talent around Caleb Williams too. I mean, if they get the right coach in there, who knows what can happen? You know what I mean? Caleb Williams continues to make strides to be a better quarterback, and maybe he has a year 2 jump and he's leaps and bounds better. Who knows?
Well, yeah, I mean, like I said, it is some of it is his fault, his play, but I mean, he's just starting. Like, not everybody comes in and plays like Jaden Daniels. Like some of these guys will sit, some of these guys will come in here and there before they actually get their chance. Somebody has to get hurt. So, for him coming in and playing like he played and doing what he did, I mean, I think Caleb Williams has real potential in this league, and I think the coaching is what was the biggest thing. I'm not saying he don't have no responsibility, but it's his first year. You're supposed to be helping him understand and helping him do these things. So, yeah, I think the Bears are gonna be good next year. I really do, if they get the right coach in there.
All right, chat. Which job would you prefer? If you were a free agent coach, what's the most attractive job that's available right now? One thing I find funny is that rumors are that the Bears wanted to talk to Mike McCarthy, the Dallas Cowboys coach, which his contract's up, but it's not up for a couple months or something. It's not up to the middle of summer, which I think we all felt. Well, I know a lot of people felt that the Dallas Cowboys were going to move on from Mike McCarthy, but the Dallas Cowboys blocked their request to interview Mike McCarthy, which I found strange. I mean, you haven't given this guy a new contract, but you're not allowing him to go out and seek other employment.
Exactly.
I just think, I mean, if they don't bring him back, I'd be pissed if I was Mike McCarthy. Like, listen, there was an opportunity for me to go get another job, and you held me back for what reason?
Right, and then they interview somebody else and get somebody else up in there, and
like I'd be calling Jerry Jones tomorrow. Like, so we got a contract ready. Are you ready to re-up me? Because if not, why are you doing this to me?
Yeah, this isn't the time to be, I don't know what to do with you, so I'm just going to sit here and screw you over. I mean,
well, if Dallas isn't going to re-sign him, like, you would think that Dallas would be trying to get their hands on one of the top prospects or one of the hot coaching candidates. And
so you're thinking he's leaning more towards keeping him?
Well,
you would think, right? I mean, I get that, but
yeah, I mean, I thought Mike McCarthy's goose was cooked earlier in the season. Then they played semi well down the final stretch. But yeah, I just don't think Mike McCarthy's met expectations for the Dallas Cowboys. I mean, you got Dak Prescott, who's a upper echelon quarterback. I don't know if he's even top 10, but I mean, he's top 15. You got CeeDee Lamb, who's probably a top 6 or 7 receiver in the league. I mean, you got parts. Micah Parsons might be the number 1 defensive player in the league, or he's a top 5 defensive player in this league. I mean, you have pieces. You definitely have pieces. And I think there was higher expectations for the Dallas Cowboys, and they just haven't met them. So I thought that Jerry Jones was going to move on from Mike McCarthy, but this has me questioning it. If you're not going to move on from him, what are you doing this for?
See, I like when there's nonsense going on in Dallas. Dallas is my least liked team, so it's nice to watch them over these years. Every time they get a quarterback, they stay with them. They just can't win. They had Romo. He'd play awesome football. He just couldn't get it done. And now with Dak, you got Dak in there for a while, and he plays really, when he's on, he's really on, and he's a great quarterback, but he gets crunch time and they just don't do it. So I hate watching the games when Dallas is on because they always show Jerry Jones. I don't want to see Jerry Jones. Let me watch some football, man. I don't care about Jerry. I don't care. Yeah. People got to stop that nonsense.
Well, he loves it. He loves soaking that attention in.
Yeah, maybe that's what he's doing. Maybe he's trying to get attention. Maybe that's what he's doing with the Mike McCarthy thing. Because you can't tell me he doesn't know what he's going to do. You can't tell me that.
Yeah. The Las Vegas Raiders, they fired Antonio Pierce the day after Black Monday, which was kind of weird. They made him give an interview Monday about the team and stuff. Then you fire him Tuesday. You usually let people go on Monday. I mean, so he's sitting there as answering questions on Monday's news conference, and you know, he's thinking he's probably safe because he's not getting the axe that day. You know, typically the day that people get the axe.
I thought he was safe.
Yeah, so I mean, it was a little bit weird, but I guess news is that Tom Brady's going to be leading the efforts to go out and find the next head coach of the Raiders. Which, I mean, you got to think any former Patriot, Mike Vrabel, for instance. You know that Mike Vrabel's got to be. I mean, he's a Tom Brady guy. You know what I mean? How could you not be? Tom Brady's the reason for all your professional success as a player. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
How could that not be interesting to go work for your buddy? You know what I mean? Your former teammate. So there's that. There was rumors that he had tried to get a hold of Bill Belichick. Even though Bill Belichick went to UNC, like he tried to get Bill to come to the NFL, but I guess reports are that Bill's staying with North Carolina, which I don't know if it's because Bill doesn't want Tom to be his boss, but you're so close. You're so close to that all-time wins record in the pros. Why would you turn that down?
Yeah, I don't.
You're so close. It's like the Saquon thing. You're so close to having the most wins in NFL history as a coach, and you're gonna shut it down.
You're gonna bench him.
You're gonna go to you're gonna stay in the college rank. You've never been a college coach, bro. Like,
I seen an article today about Tom Brady and how it's a conflict of interest of him being part owner in them, and then sitting there broadcasting games, and he gets different kind of insight because he's a broadcaster. And I've seen a bunch of that kind of stuff. I don't know how much of it would really affect anything, but I mean, he does sit there and watch all these games. I don't know what kind of information they get, but I don't know. That
the broadcasters usually they go behind the scenes and they have access to
everything, right?
And
the people and the players, and so
like they go to practice the day before and talk to people and this and that. So
he could hear something and relay it, right?
Yes. So I mean, I think there is limitations to what Tom Brady can do as a broadcaster. I do believe that to be fact. I'm just not certain exactly what those restrictions are and what it all pertains to.
I mean, it only really sticks out because, I mean, let's face it, he's Tom Brady, and then you got Deflategate, and then the call watching and all that nonsense he went through. Like, I don't know, some people still call Tom Brady a cheater, but you know,
hey.
we ain't gonna get into that discussion. I'm not. Whatever. Tom Brady's the GOAT. Good for you, buddy.
That mofo got a lot of money. He got a lot of rings. He got a lot of. I mean, that mofo got a lot of stuff. Hey,
and then a ex-wife.
Hey.
Pregnant with her judo instructor.
Man, listen. If I was Tom Brady, there'd be a whole lot of people pregnant. Bro, you got me. What?
You'd have the whole
Julian Edelman's wife, pregnant. Randy Moss's wife, pregnant. Bill Belichick's mom, pregnant. Robert Kraft's wife, pregnant.
You'd be walking around in Boston. You wouldn't know whose kid was who. They'd have the Brady foster home.
Man, you'd be calling me Deshaun Brady.
Deshaun Brady. Oh man, I can't.
Baby, rub my upper thigh.
Oh man, you're
Brady,
terrible.
Bro.
You're terrible.
Tommy boy, Tommy. Yeah. So usually, you know, these these teams searching for head coaches, usually they have like 3 or 4 names that they want to bring in and people that they like for their coaching position. The New York Football Stankin' Jets seem like they want to interview everybody and their mother.
Yeah, I
They
seen a big old list.
literally got a list of like, it's just astronomical that you have so many people that you want to, like, for real. You have this many candidates that are real options. Hold on, check this out. So these are request interviews scheduled. You got Joe Brady, the Bills offensive coordinator, Brian Flores, Vikings defensive coordinator, Aaron Glenn, Lions defensive coordinator, Brian Greasy, and former Miami Dolphins quarterback, 49ers quarterback coach, Vance Joseph, Broncos defensive coordinator, Josh McCown, Vikings offensive coordinator, and former Jets quarterback, Darren Rizzi, Saints interim head coach, and he's a special teams coordinator most of his career. Like, he's a real option. Like, come on. Bobby Gilwick, Texans offense coordinator, Steve Spagnuolo, Chiefs defensive coordinator, Arthur Smith, Steelers offensive coordinator, Jeff Ubrick, Jets defensive coordinator, interim head coach. He ain't getting that job. He's crazy.
Man, you ain't lying. You're still going?
Completed interviews. Matt Nagy, Chiefs offensive coordinator, Rex Ryan, former Jets Bills head coach, Mike Vrabel, former Titans head coach, Ron Rivera, former Commanders and Panthers head coach. That list is absolutely crazy.
Is that a desperation list? Because I remember how many times we were talking about, would you want to go there? Would you really want? And we're always like, no. So is that like a desperation thing, or?
I don't know if it's desperation because people could just turn them down. And I'm not even sure that list is complete.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I just don't think the Jets know what the freak they're doing. I think the people running the Jets, there's no general manager right now. So there's another list for general managers.
Mm-hmm.
The people at the top of this organization don't know what's going on. Like, you had these rumors, and it's not even rumors. I'm guessing that they're facts, that this is true, is that you're not making trades based on Madden ratings.
Mm-hmm.
Like, who does that? We're not trading for Jerry Jeudy because his Madden ratings too low. What? That's crazy. That don't even sound real life.
No.
Like, I can't trade for you your Madden get your Madden rating up, bro. Come holler at me next year, 2026 edition.
That'd be crazy.
Your speed on Madden's only 89, bro. We're looking for 90s.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Your deep route running's only 78. We need an 80 minimum. Come on, bro.
80, 81. And then we might pop you in there.
Yeah, like,
that's crazy.
You was a 99 overall. What happened? You down to 94. You don't got the gold cleats no more. What?
Yeah. That's crazy.
That's great. Yeah,
that is pretty
crazy.
And but that's why the Jets wouldn't be one of my favorite spots to try to interview for.
I mean, there's things that look positive with the Jets. I mean, someone like Mike Vrabel, for instance. Mike Vrabel's a defensive coach. You come in, you got a lot of defensive pieces. Like, this defense, there's no excuse why they weren't a top 5 defense in the NFL this year. No excuse.
Right.
So you come in, you got a good ass defense, a top 5 unit. You just got to work out the kinks. And then on the offensive side of the ball, you got Breece Hall, fantastic young running back. Garrett Wilson, fantastic young wide receiver. Yeah, you got Devontae Adams on the team still.
Mm-hmm.
And you can bring back Aaron Rodgers. Now, Rodgers, people want to complain and say he fell off and this and that. Yeah, Aaron Rodgers didn't perform up to the level that we're used to, the MVP all-time great level. But if that defense would have been a top 5 unit like they were supposed to be, the New York Jets would have been in the playoffs.
Oh, yeah. And Rodgers was a little banged up, too. Like, people forget about that he was playing kind of hurt. So, but Aaron Rodgers is always playing hurt. So, I mean,
I just
You
feel
know,
like if with a top 5 unit defensively, I think that Aaron Rodgers' quarterback play was good enough to get them. I mean, you bring in a competent offensive coordinator, of course.
hmm
He's good enough to still get them to the playoffs.
oh yeah,
So, I mean, that's why that job's attractive. It's just unattractive because it's just a dumpster fire. It's a
yeah,
dumpster fire.
it's a hot mess.
The owner's a joke. The owner's son's a joke. The whole list of people in charge up there is a joke, and it's absolutely crazy. So, I mean, Rex Ryan's bagging for the job. I mean, it's kind of crazy. I don't remember another situation where someone's been fired from a coaching job by a certain owner and then rehired for the same coaching job
Right.
by the same owner.
Yeah.
But Rex Ryan's bagging for this job. He's bagging for it. So, I mean, he cares about the Jets. He wants to be there. I mean, he's a defensive mastermind too. I mean, it might not be the worst thing.
No, I
So,
think that'd be kind of cool, actually.
so yeah, that's the coaching carousel as we speak, and I was hoping that maybe the Miami Dolphins would be in the hunt for a general manager at the very least. That wasn't the case. Stephen Ross, and I know that this sounds repetitive to Mike Jones because we talked about it a lot Monday, but
Oh,
Monday's video is
we never seen it.
missing. Yeah. So Stephen Ross put out a statement saying that he's going to keep Mike McDaniel and Chris Greer this year, because he believes that continuing their working relationship together is more beneficial to the team than firing them and looking for a new coach and a new general manager at this point in time. And so we're basically running it back.
That's what we're doing.
Then Tyreek bugs out, flips out, says he don't want to be here no more, that he's too talented to be just another guy on the field, blah blah blah. He just goes crazy. He says he don't want to be in Miami. So that's absolutely nuts. And then the next day he changes his profile picture on Twitter to Antonio Brown with his face when Antonio Brown walked off the field. Like he's an absolute troll, and I don't know if he meant the things he said or if he was just frustrated in the time, but I guess we'll see. His contract is almost untradeable. Like there's no benefit of us moving off Tyreek Hill's contract. We'll still owe a shit ton of money. We'll never get back what he's worth, especially because he had a down year. I mean, he had a down year plus. Any team that calls the Miami Dolphins is going to lowball the Dolphins because they know Tyreek wants out.
Right.
Like he don't want to be there, so you're going to have to trade him.
Yeah.
So here's a 5th round pick. Bro, if you trade Tyreek Hill for a 5th round pick, I
You're an
might
idiot.
go punch Chris Greer right in the face. I might go find out where he lives, sneak in and punch him in the face. But yeah, and then the next day, Mike McDaniel and Chris Greer give a joint press conference saying they both talked to Tyreek and that they feel like he just was emotional in the moment. And the beat writers were like, well, did he recant is what he said? And Chris Greer's like, no, he didn't go back on what he said, but he never asked me for a trade. And then Mike McDaniel's like, yeah, I met with him. I told him it was not okay and it won't be tolerated to be take yourself out of games, which is not okay. I don't care who tells you that it's justified. It is never justified to pull yourself out of a game. You are a player that makes a great living. You're very wealthy because of the game of football. I don't care what reason you think you have. You don't have the right to pull yourself out of a game.
No, that's your job.
So they're like, Do you think that you can fix the relationship with Tyreek? He's like, I don't think there's anything that needs to be fixed. So is Tyreek going to be a Dolphin next year? I don't know. I really don't. I think that if he's not a Miami Dolphin next year, that greatly hurts our chances of competing for any type of playoff berth next year. He's our best player. He's absolutely our best player. He's not our most important player, but he is our best player.
Yeah.
Our most important player is Tua Tagovailoa. And Chris Greer and Mike McDaniel actually threw some shots at Tua and criticized him. They're like, it's unacceptable for you not to be available, to put yourself in harm's way, to get hurt and not be available for this team. So I was a little surprised by that. And that there's a big culture problem in Miami. People not showing up to work on time. People not showing up to meetings on time. People not respecting Mike McDaniel. But what did you expect? What did you expect? If you try to be their best friends all the time, how you gonna be the disciplinarian? Like, Mike, if me and you were co-workers somewhere and I got a promotion and I'm always fucking off, joking around with you, hee hee ha ha, we do some shit because management don't know, and then I become management and I come over and I try to crack down on that same shit that me and you used to do together. I try to crack down on that shit on you. You gonna respect that?
Hell no.
Are you gonna be like, man, get the fuck out of here? Get out of here, bro. What are you talking about?
Yeah, you're gonna have to go above. You're gonna have to go above yourself to have somebody else come tell me to do that.
Yeah,
shit.
you better come tell someone else, because me and you was getting high behind the building last week.
Right.
You know
Exactly.
What I mean? What?
Yeah.
And I don't get high, folks. I don't smoke marijuana.
You can't go back
drugs.
You can't go back on that. You can't. Once you established yourself a certain way, you can't all of a sudden be the hard ass that cracks down on everything. That's just not you. They're just gonna look at you as the same guy. Like, you can't. You either you come in and establish that you're that way, but you can't just start cracking down rules now. Like, it's just you've been there too long. You've been there too long.
Yeah, I agree. You was my friend, now you want to be the, you know what I mean? But he acts like he's gonna give it a go. He acts like, I was fining people for showing up late. I was doing this and it wasn't working. So now if you show up late, it's going to show me you don't want to be here no more. So does that mean, if you continue the disrespect, you're gone? I mean, we'll see. I mean, a lot of people are saying Tyreek's outburst is because he wants attention addressed to the problems this team has. You know what I mean? Like, they ignored the offensive line this year. Chris Greer and Mike McDaniel both admitted that they did and that they got to do a better job. They admitted that they got to get a better backup quarterback. So, I mean, a lot of people are saying Tyreek is falling on the sword and he just wants what's best for this team. Now, I think Tyreek loves it in Miami. I think he loves it. What's not to love? It's beautiful. It's beautiful year round. You make a shit ton of money with no state taxes.
Yep.
You know what I mean? It's
got everything.
You're a god there. I mean, so we'll see what happens. I hope and pray that Tyreek stays a Miami Dolphin, that Tua Tagovailoa can stay healthy next year, and that since we're stuck with him, that Mike McDaniel and Chris Greer can address this team's needs for once and not stick a Band-Aid on it. And hopefully we're back to competing for a playoff berth next year. And, if things go right and the schedule lines up the correct way for us, which we have a pretty decent schedule next year, maybe we steal the division from the Buffalo Bills. Maybe we steal one of those games. And, maybe we win a playoff game or two and find ourselves in the AFC Championship game. I mean, this is wishful thinking, of course, and a lot of things got to go right, but it's possible. And if it doesn't go that way, if things go south, I think in 2026 we're going to be looking for a new coach, a new general manager, and
Quarterback.
hopefully trying to find some way to get up there and get Arch.
I
But
mean, it is what it is. It is what it is. Yeah, I'm not too. I woke up this morning, put on some. I was like going through some videos and got to watch Joe Schulen sitting there interviewing. I mean, he says all the right stuff. He says all the smart stuff, and I just, you know what? It's true. You blow something up, and it's a mess. Then you're talking multiple years before you get everything organized again. So I'm not really mad that they're still there. I'm a little irritated because we can have such a shitty season and nobody's held accountable. I don't like that. Um, but
well,
I kind of,
they held Daniel Jones
oh,
accountable.
oh yeah. I mean, well, what else? You kind of have to. You gave this guy all this money and he looks like a damn high school quarterback. Like you look like idiots. And so, and that's another thing. But that's not his fault. They believed in him. They believed in him. They signed off on him. I just really hope that this doesn't hurt us. And I hope we figure out this pick stuff. I hope Schulen can come up with a good plan for the draft. And hopefully we can still come up with a quarterback. Because I have a feeling if we don't get a quarterback, we'll probably take, what's his name? Travis Hunter.
Yeah, I think he's going to be gone by the time you pick, brother.
Oh, you think? I don't know. I was hearing that.
I think Cleveland wants him.
I heard that Tennessee wants Cam. And then,
see, I heard Tennessee wants Shador.
Maybe it was Shador, but I know I thought it was Cam. This morning, I could swear he said it was Cam.
Well, it's going to switch up a million times before the draft gets here.
Yeah, before we actually have a good picture. But if they take Cam first, and then for some reason the Browns take Shador, then I think we take Travis Hunter.
Well, you got the 4th pick, right?
We got the 3rd pick. We moved up. That's what happened. For every team that was ahead of us that won, which was only the Patriots, we moved up a spot. So we went from 4th to 3rd, and then the Pats lose and they go to 4th. So yeah, they bit that one.
Yeah, I think Cleveland's going to end up taking Travis Hunter.
I mean, I'd be cool with that. I would like to get Cam. Like I'm cool with with Shador thing, and like I like that him and Malik kind of hit it off in New York, and he had New York Giants cleats in his locker and all that nonsense. But I don't know. I worry that a guy like him, not saying he's a bad guy, he's going to demand a lot of attention, and I worry about that. But then again, on the other hand, it could be a good thing too. Maybe that's something that we need in New York. I don't know. I just don't know anymore. I'm so used to going through these half-ass seasons that, you kind of get just lost and you don't know what to do anymore.
Well, you guys haven't really had a brash quarterback in a very long time. I can't remember one really. I mean, Eli was very mellow, quiet, laid back. Daniel Jones, kind of the same thing.
Yep.
Be something different,
Yeah, and that's what I mean. I can't really judge because we haven't seen stuff like that. So I mean, Eli, like you said, Eli was just too chill. Always took all the. It was my fault. I got to play better. Like he was really good at that.
Well, that's what the quarterback's supposed to do. That's what they're supposed to say.
And that's why I respect. That's why I like Eli so much, because he was like that. But maybe we do need to shake things up. Maybe we need somebody that comes in that is loud. That is, I don't know. I don't know what we need. I'm ready for a change. I'm ready to see some different stuff because I'm tired of rooting other people's teams on when my team's not there at the end. You know what I mean?
Yep. I do know what you mean.
I know you do, brother.
All right, folks. Like, comment, subscribe, share. We'll be back Friday to talk more about these playoffs and give you our legitimate picks. I mean, we did a little rough draft here, but we'll give you some scores and tell you what to look for, and we'll talk about what's going on, baby. We'll talk about coaching, the coaching carousel, and any other news and notes from around the league.
You gonna have your undeniable bet segment,
Yeah, I'm gonna win you some money. So
or you still got that locked up so you can't hurt your
I'm
pockets?
I'm about to hurt my pockets this week, baby. Woo!
It's playoff week, baby.
It's playoff week. It's
Woo!
playoff week. The playoffs are here.
Mm.
All right, folks. We'll be back Friday. Thanks for tuning in. Make sure you hit them like buttons, baby. I'll be
Thumbs
having
up.
100 views and stuff and 8 likes. You don't like it? You don't like it? You gonna learn to love it.
Love it.
But until next time, oh, I'll be doing something with Dolphin fans. I'll be doing something with Shake Money tomorrow. So keep a lookout for that. And like I said, here soon I'll be doing something with one of the goats of the Dolphin community. Me and Big Doug Lee Do Wrong's gonna be getting up together. So listen, I'm trying to do big things. I'm trying to make things work. Help support us.
Please.
Give us your feedback. Give us topics. We want to hear from you. Not one comment from y'all tonight. Like, come on.
I know
Do
this
better.
this is not normal. You guys have been spoiling us. What is going on?
Do better. Do better. But we'll see you
Absolutely.
Friday, same time, same bat channel.
Thanks for kicking it with us on the Blitz. Remember to
And
like,
we'll-
share, subscribe. Love your animals. Love your family.
Yeah.
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 Whatever. Whatever.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's move on.
I have nothing else to say about that.
Me either. I got shit to do.
Mom, get my Veil tracks.
What the?